Welcome everyone to this ClickCreate Artist Spotlight. Today we have Ayla and Erin. What words describe your artistic style?
I'd say my style is a fusion of traditional work with a contemporary flair. I like to say, actually, I use images from the past in a contemporary way. So although I source most of my material from vintage sources, vintage magazines and old books, I like to cut them up in a way that kind of feels modern and gives them a bit of a contemporary edge. So, exploring, different themes of identity, kind of our place in the world, nature, womanhood.
What inspires you to create?
So many things. Obviously, the foundation of all of my work you can see is the ocean. And then in a non-vain way, myself. And then I kind of like to go on these deep dives of information. So I will be inspired by silk and I'll want to learn everything about silk, or I'll be really interested in a Caravaggio light scheme. And so I like to kind of really focus, pinhole focus on certain things that I'm interested in. And then just in general, music. I feel every artist has some type of music playing in the studio, and I can't create without music. So when I'm shooting in the studio, I usually have a soundtrack, depends on the mood, but Sade / Mozart / Kanye if I'm feeling like I need a little bit more extra vibes. There's so much. You can look outside and get inspired by the color of the sky and why is it blue and how does that reflect. So I think for me, I'm ever looking down art history and letting that inform how I create.
What's next on your artistic journey?
I feel like the past 3 years, for those who have known me, I've really honed in my style. So you can recognize Ayla by a wave, right? Normally when you see a wave and a desert and a female body, you think, oh, Ayla. So I'm excited because I've taken the idea of nude abstracts and the wave, and I'm creating a whole new sort of visual philosophy. It's completely different, but it's also so similar to what I've been talking about. And I'm kind of smashing those two ideas of abstraction, nature, and symbol, and the human body. It's a combination of multimedia. So it's photographs, painting, it's printed on an amazing cotton rag paper. And then I'm combining elements. So I'm taking the 24 karat gold pigment of the sun. So really working with 24 karat gold and also premium silver on the paper to create this incredible, poignant symbol. And then I'm very excited because I'll be working with Transient and their new trace technology. So it'll be all these different elements and ideas into one amazing place.
What were your goals for this ClickCreate edition?
So when I was asked to do this, the first person that came to mind was Erin. I haven't collaborated with anybody. I mean, I did a small sub collab with my brother, but I've never officially done an artistic collaboration before, with another artist. And so when Kath approached me and was who would you like to collab with? It was kind of a no-brainer. Erin and I have wanted to do a piece probably for about 1.5 years, right, Erin?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, so we've been thinking about, we've been sending ideas back and forth. I've been sending some type of photo and it just has not worked. And so I think for me, what's so exciting about doing this edition is that I'm actually really doing my first artistic collab, and there's no better way, I think, to do it than via ClickCreate.
Yeah, I mean, Ayla kind of said, what I was planning on saying too. We've wanted to do a collab for years, and it's really been more my end because she sends me beautiful photos, and in the end, I just I put them together and something doesn't feel right. I've probably made at least 10, 15 different rough drafts and works of art with your photos that, just something didn't feel right. And so I was even nervous for this drop that, well, what if something doesn't come together? Luckily, the stars stars aligned and like finally an idea hit. And I made a rough draft with some like random photos I found online that were like similar and showed Ayla, and she was like, yes. And I was like, yes, like, finally, like this is the one. This feels right. This feels like you and me, kind of a good, mix of our styles and our technique. And like I met Ayla like right at the beginning, and as soon as I saw her work, like it blew me away, and it resonated with me probably more than most work in the space because it incorporates the female nude, which I use obviously almost all the time. And then when I got to meet her, she's such a wonderful, warm person and a collector of mine as well. So, we hit it off. And so this is just serendipitous. It's wonderful. And to do it with like the ClickCreate team, is amazing. So I'm really glad that we get to participate in the ecosystem and in the community.